What is going on, guys? It's Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and we are talking Mayans Season 3, Episode 1 and 2. So non-spoiler, so I'm just going to get my thoughts and overall rating of the first two episodes, my impressions on how Season 3 kicked off, and I have to say, man, so the first season of Mayans, I necessarily did not like, and then season two kind of picked up. Season three has such a strong start. We do get more of that brutality. We do get the sense of this really feels like an old man Logan kind of movie, where the MC is, well, a lot of the storylines that were the cliffhangers that were in season two, it proves on it. So far, I mean, we do get a glimpse of my biggest gripe was getting a glimpse of the other MC members, but we do get that a little bit on episode one. We get far more of that than the previous seasons, which I'm all for. Even the look of the first two episodes, especially the first episode. I think the first episode is the best pacing episode, and it's definitely the most engaging episode. That first episode to me is kind of a 10 out of 10. While the second episode does lag in some areas and some storylines, it still maintains its momentum, especially looking forward to episode 3. But you could automatically off the bat could tell that this season looks more cleaner, looks more professional. The cinematography's really good in this, but not only the cinematography, but the camera work. It doesn't feel amateurish. I don't want to necessarily say that season 1 and season 2 didn't look good or didn't have great camera work. I just feel like it's a little bit more whoever's behind the lens and behind the camera, and Elgin James, give kudos to him, because even though it says executive producer and gives a credit to Kurt Sutter, remember, he's the one that created this. That doesn't mean he's on set and doing what he did in season 1. Elgin James has done a great job of really making this look super clean. It looks beautiful, guys. It looks, the camera work, the angles that they use, it's just more sharper, more focused. It doesn't really feel, the only times it kind of feels like they really kind of experimented on camera work is just putting a camera, like a GoPro on Coco's, one particular scene on Coco's bike when he's riding away. But other than that, you have focused shots, you have nice clean framework. I mean, I can't get enough of the professionalism on the camera and on the cinematography. I think this looks beautiful. It's on par of, some parts reminded me of Narcos, and some part reminded me of Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad and Mayans, they're two complete series, but the work that were put into the presentation is there, and I really appreciate that from the get-go. Right from the beginning, they really set the tone. The tone in this is exactly what I wanted the tone to be. Now, a lot of the cast and members and everybody's been saying this is a darker season, that you're going to see more brutality, you're in for a treat. And right now I'm in for, I'm gobbling up that treat. I think what they said really is showcasing with the tone that they have, right from the beginning, the song choice that they use to set this all up with that beautiful cinematography, beautiful camera work, is right off the book of American Me. And I've said it thousands of times, I want this show to be kind of like American Me. You've had fucking Marcus Alvarez kill his own son, and we're going into the Mayans, this is exactly what it should be. Now, I won't say that it doesn't have its faults. I think some storylines that they're setting up, it's not that interesting. Some characters that, like Emily, I still don't really give a damn, and yet she's there. Seems like they're setting something up with her. There's a lot of changes on the physical appearances that I really like Bishop's beard. With Taza looks great. The shots on Taza too, especially episode 1, were fantastic. I really look forward to exploring that character. Miguel looks so weird without a beard. It's pretty funny, but he's just not as menacing, or I wouldn't even say he was menacing before, but he's just not intimidating, honestly, without a beard. I really enjoy Creeper in these first two episodes because he doesn't get a lot, but he gets I like his understanding of people. He sees something and he's quick to it and he knows something's up. So I want to explore more Creeper. His acting, Taz, I really want to get into. I want to know what is going on with him, especially since Paulo, we still have to dwell in that cliffhanger in season 2. I can understand what Taz's situation is going on after watching the 2 episodes. I actually side with him. Hank doesn't have too much to play. I hope that character gets more to play in the upcoming episodes, but you get a little bit more of Gilly, and I think Bishop really comes, he's a little unhinged, but I think I gained to really like this character even more. The dude got a set of cojones, all right? So everything is really working. I mean, the first episode, the pacing, fantastic. The second episode loses me a little bit. There's Coco's storyline in the first 2 episodes that I'm not really feeling. And towards the end of the second episode, but with Coco, I did get my heart was pumping, but I feel like where they're taking his character, I'm not necessarily glad because I've seen it thousands of times. With Ezekiel, I really do feel now that he's patched, now you get to see what he could do, and I think the main focus is what there is nothing for him to, like, his past was his mother, and that's got all resolved, avenging his avenging the death of his mother. So now what is there for Ezekiel to do? He is now patched. There's a couple storylines here and there, but I do like the relationship that he has with Gabby, so we'll see where that leads. And I was very surprised that I actually really like Gabby a lot in these first 2 episodes. I really thought, and especially with her, Ezekiel, and her with Ignacio and Ignacio's storyline. I've seen this all before, but the moral of the story coming out of these 2 episodes, that it's a predictable 2 episodes. You predict some of the things that are going to happen, but it's all about the execution. I always say it's all about the execution, and the execution is done really well. And that's what makes me more psyched on these next episodes and the season. So the execution has been money, especially some of the big things that happen in the first episode and in the second episode. Like I said, you're going to see it a mile away, but when it happens, it's like in your face, and you do shout out a couple words when it happens. So overall, strong start to Mayans season 3 episode 1, and then of course episode 2 a little bit kind of, it was good, but it keeps the momentum going, especially with some of the big things to come, especially with the MC, all right, the Bishop's crew. There's so many big things going to happen. So I love how they give you a lot of things in the get-go to process, but there's still so many things to happen and come. And I hope some of the little storylines kind of conclude sooner than later, and then we focus on the big ones, like I said, on my thoughts. So if I give episode 1 a rating, I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. It was actually, it exceeded my expectations. I was really loving that episode, loving the art style, loving the style, shots, music choices. I did not like the intro. Intro's too long. I think the intro works if you plug in another song. I think if you get an SOA kind of a theme kind of song in there, I think it works a lot better. I get what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work for me. The acting overall was great. There was 2 spots though where, like I said, Creeper was a little bit, and Paco was a little bit, but overall everybody brought their A game. I really want it to unravel more on more of these. I really want them to really focus on the Mayans members more. I think we could lead. I really don't like Emily's storyline. I really don't like when we have to even enter Emily. I get the hardship she's doing, but she kind of brought it onto herself, because there's a lot of backlash what happens in season 2. There's a lot of things that need to be, that had domino effect, so to speak. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it all pays off. If it all pays off, then great. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna say like, well, why didn't you focus on this more? So, but overall, the second episode, I would give it an I was going to give it a 9 out of 10, but now that I thought about it, and there's a couple knocks on it, and I'll discuss that in a spoiler review, but I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. But the first episode, 10 out of 10. Second episode, 8.5 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, the second episode does still build the momentum going into episode 3. I just wish there was I guess they laying the groundwork, especially with Adelita and her story. So there's so many characters that we need to follow, and I'm hoping that we get a little bit more of what works with Mayans is if we could get character interaction. I actually there's one particular character interaction I really liked with Ezekiel and Bishop, and then Ezekiel and Angel always have great character interactions too. So we shall see. 10 out of 10 first episode. 8.5 out of 10 on the second episode. Great start. Really feeling it. Really feeling the mood, tone. I'm excited. Thank you guys for listening. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video because it would help the channel really out. And look for my spoiler review and look for my breakdown prediction video with the Okius Taylor on Thursday. So lots to cover. I will be doing more Mayans videos and doing actually Sons of Anarchy videos. I have a couple of good ideas on that. And we're going to really delve into this these 2 episodes. It's a lot to process in our spoiler review. So thank you guys. I'm Dan Making Son. See you guys next time.